Good day everyone, I am UMAYAO and my topic is all about general educational adaptations. Different strategies and accommodations may be used to provide a level playing field for children with communication difficulties and disorders. This section discusses the use of universal design for learning and practical tips to be used in the classroom. So, let's talk about first the universal design for learning. In the classroom, through the use of universal design for learning, it allows children to learn information, demonstrate understanding, and stay engaged in multiple ways. So, in a learning process, a teacher, as a facilitator of learning, must know first the educational needs of all types of learners that he or she will be handled and consider what he or she will do beyond and do so much more just to make sure that learners will learn from a particular topic despite the weaknesses in receiving information and ideas. Because of weaknesses resulting from communication difficulties or disorders, teaching and learning practices as well as assessment should be presented in different modalities, such as visual, auditory, and kinesthetic motor or tactile. So this means that lessons are presented through various means such as using pictures and or videos and hands-on experiential learning and not solely by passive approaches such as reading from textbooks, lectures, and teachers-directed discussions. So, all type of learners learn from what they see, either from actual objects or through pictures and videos that shown by a teacher. So, learners should be given opportunity to perform or do activities related to a particular topic. As a future teacher, I will let my students to work in a group despite what physical disorders or special needs that one student has. There should be an interaction between the teachers and the learners because the students construct their own meaning from their own experiences and prior knowledge. Therefore, all types of learners learn best by doing, and teacher as a facilitator must knowledgeable enough so that in giving assessment, teachers will determine if the learners met the standards set in the curriculum guide. Presenting learning activities in this manner gives children with communication difficulties or disorders the opportunity to use their strengths and stronger modalities to compensate for their weaknesses and a chance to be successful in an inclusive classroom. So now let's talk about the practical tips for classroom. In addition to using universal design for learning, there are practical tips and techniques that teachers can use to provide students with communication difficulties the support they need in order to be successful. So the following list provides practical suggestions that teachers can use in the classroom. These suggestions are best implemented in the classroom that promotes a supportive and respectful culture, one that acknowledges and accepts diversity and allows accommodations for learners with difficulties. So, first in the list is to allow the child to sit near the teacher and the blackboard, away from auditory and visual distractions such as windows and the door. So with that, the learner with communication difficulties will better understand what teachers trying to implicate in a particular discussion, knowing that learners easy to distract from the noise or natural sounds from nature or produced by people outside the classroom, it is very useful that this kind of learner with communication difficulties must sit at the front or near the teacher. Second is to get the child's attention before giving directions. Call the child's name or use pre-arranged signal to help the child focus and listen to the directions. So, as a future teacher, it is useless when I will give directions to the learners even they are not listening or not focusing on me. So, the best way is to call their name first so that I can catch their attentions and do listen up to the end of a session. The third is use pictures, charts, and other visual aids when explaining content to supplement auditory information. So again, learners will learn from what they seen. So, as a teacher, I will make my discussion more engaging and fun at the same time through using pictures or any visual aids that could make the learners knowledgeable from a particular topic. Fourth, speak slowly and clearly without exaggerating speech. So, as a teacher, we need to speak slowly and clearly so that the learners with communication disorders will not find it difficult to understand or hear all the words coming from a teacher. Fifth, simplify directions into short steps. Break down multi-step directions and give each one at a time instead of just repeating each one. So, it is useful when giving directions or instructions in a short steps. So, a teacher must have a briefings in giving directions at a time. With that, learners with communication difficulties will use to not repeating of each one from a teacher. So, sixth, provide a written copy directions per a task so the child can refer back to it at his or her own pace. So, without depending on teacher, the learners will refer back to read a written copy if a teacher will provide so that it will avoid repeating in giving directions. 7. Use gestures to clarify information. So, to better understand the topic on the part of the learner, teachers must use gestures also to clarify informations or to provide some clues or giving ideas in the learners during a particular discussion. 8. Use peer-mediated instruction so that peers without difficulties can serve as language models and learning buddies. So, in this part, collaboration with classmates is very useful. There must be a peer or group mediated instruction that teacher will provide so that all type of learners will understand and know what teacher trying to implicate. Ninth, provide extra time to prepare for oral language activities. Do not call children with communication difficulties or disorders to recite first in class. Call other typically developing children first to serve as language models. So, with that, it helped in the part of that learners with communication difficulties or disorders to have guide or idea on what he or she will going to share in an oral language activities. So, 10th, model correct language forms and use appropriate wait times 3 to 5 seconds or more to give the child time to think and respond. So, it is one of the best way to develop the communication skills of the learners with communication difficulties and disorders. So, as a teacher, we should not put a pressure on the part of a learner. We should give them enough time to think and respond. So, last is the 11th, explicitly teach vocabulary that is needed in the learning context to promote better comprehension. So, in addressing the needs of the learner, it should be in a step-by-step manner so that the learners can adapt and comprehend well. Therefore, universal design for learning alongside different accommodations like presentations, response, setting, and timing that are appropriate to the child, and collaboration between the general education teacher and the special education professional will all help ensure that children with communication difficulties and disorders have a chance to be successful in an inclusive education or classroom. My implications with that is all type of learners having physical disorders or special needs or not has the right to attend in school, to educate themselves, and to become successful in life. We should not discriminate one's physical disorder since they are also human beings that needs too much care and positive treatment from their fellow men. So, all type of learners must have a collaboration inside the classroom. They must learn not just the knowledge but also on how they develop the skills and on what way they integrate values. Therefore, the only goal is to learn, not to compete. So, that ends my topic. I hope you learned a lot and thank you for watching. Bye!